Level 1. Plato's Theory of Forms. All right, picture this. You've been chained in a cave your whole life, staring at a wall. All you ever see are shadows, flickering shapes of stuff behind you. That's your whole reality. Now imagine one day you break free. You step outside the cave, and boom, sunlight, color, depth. You realize those shadows were just cheap copies of the real thing. That's Plato's big idea. The world we live in? It's just a knockoff. True reality is out there, in a world of perfect, unchanging forms like beauty, justice, and love. Everything here? Just an echo. Level 2. Aristotle's Substance Theory. Now Plato's student, Aristotle? He wasn't buying that. While Plato was looking up at the sky, Aristotle was grounded, literally. He said, "Forget some perfect world out there. Let's look at what's here." To him, everything is a combo of matter and form, not copies but real deal stuff shaped by its purpose. A tree isn't some blueprint's shadow. It is what it is because of what it's made of and what it's meant to be. This way of thinking laid the groundwork for science as we know it, from biology to logic to truth is in the dirt, not the heavens. Level 3. Dualism, Descartes. Flash forward to a cold winter in Europe. Descartes is sitting by the fire, spiraling with doubt. How do I know I'm not dreaming? What if some evil demon's messing with my head? And then it hits him. I think, therefore I am. That's the one thing he couldn't doubt. His own thoughts. But his body? That might be an illusion. So, boom, he splits reality in two, mind and body. The mind is spiritual, thinking, non-physical. The body? Just a machine. And with that, dualism is born, a deep, weird riddle we still haven't solved. How can two such different things exist in one person? Level 4. Monism, Spinoza. Then there's Spinoza, total game changer. He said, stop splitting things. Mind, body, God, nature, they're all the same thing. To him, God isn't some old man in the sky. God is the universe. Everything that exists, every tree, every star, every thought, is just one infinite, unified reality expressing itself. People freaked out. He got excommunicated. But his take? It's actually super chill. You're not separate from the universe. You are the universe, just waking up to itself. Level 5. Idealism, Berkeley. Now let's get weird, really weird. Bishop Berkeley asked, if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around, does it even exist? His answer? Nope. If nothing perceives it, it's not real. To Berkeley, reality isn't physical, it's mental. Everything exists because someone, or something, is experiencing it. Even the stuff you call matter is just an idea in God's mind. Sounds trippy, right? But this line of thinking still hits today when we talk about dreams, virtual reality, or whether we're living in a simulation. Level 6. Materialism. Now swing to the other end, materialism. No spirits, no souls, just atoms bouncing around. Your thoughts, just neurons firing. Love, chemicals in your brain. Free will, probably an illusion. It's cold, sure. But this worldview built modern science. By focusing on what's measurable, not mystical, we got medicine, physics, tech, neuroscience. In this view, you're not a soul trapped in a body. You are the body, and nothing more. Level 7. Determinism. Determinism says, everything happens because something caused it. The Big Bang kicks things off, and every moment since has been dominoes falling. Your breakfast, your playlist, even your big life decisions, all shaped by your past, your wiring, your environment. Kinda spooky, right? But here's the twist. For some people, it's freeing. If everything was always going to happen this way, maybe we can stop beating ourselves up and just ride the wave. Level 8. Free will versus fate. Now here's the age-old question. Are you steering the ship, or just along for the ride? If fate's real, are our choices fake? But if free will exists, why does life feel so scripted sometimes? Maybe it's both. Maybe life hands you a blank canvas, and free will is how you choose to paint it. You're not completely free, but you're not powerless either. Level 9. Existentialism enters Sartre, sitting in a smoky Paris cafe, post-war Europe crumbling around him. He writes, "Existence precedes essence." Translation: you're not born with a purpose. You make your purpose. The universe doesn't hand you meaning. It leaves it up to you. Scary? Yeah, but also empowering. In a world that doesn't care, you get to choose what matters. You're not just responsible for what you do. You're responsible for who you become. Level 10. Absurdism, Camus. And finally Camus, the philosopher of the absurd. He looks at life and sees a joke. We crave meaning, but the universe is silent. That tension? That's the absurd. But instead of giving up, Camus tells us to rebel. Imagine Sisyphus cursed to push a boulder up a hill forever. Camus says, picture him smiling. Because even in the struggle, even in the pointless grind, there's something noble, something human. Maybe that's enough. Level 11. Cogito, ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Descartes doubted everything, the sky, the ground, even his own hands. But in the middle of all that uncertainty, one thing was crystal clear. If he was doubting, someone had to be doing the doubting. I think, therefore I am. Boom. One simple thought, and it changed everything. That single spark kicked off modern philosophy. From total doubt came total clarity. Level 12. The hard problem of consciousness. Your brain's basically a squishy lump of cells. But somehow inside that lump, there's color, pain, music, joy, experience. How? We can scan a brain, map its neurons, watch electricity fire. But none of that explains why a sunset feels beautiful or heartbreak hurts. That's the hard problem of consciousness, the gap between stuff and subjective experience. Science shrugs. Philosophy keeps digging. Level 13. The Chinese room. Searle. Imagine a guy in a locked room. He doesn't speak a word of Chinese, but he's got a book, full of instructions. When people outside slide in questions written in Chinese, he follows the book and sends back perfect responses. To outsiders, he seems fluent. But inside, he's clueless. Now swap the guy for a computer. Just because a machine spits out smart answers, does that mean it understands anything? Or is it just faking it really, really well? Level 14. Panpsychism. Here's a wild one. What if everything, even atoms, even rocks, had a tiny bit of consciousness? Not like our minds, but a glimmer, a flicker. Sounds out there, right? But if the mind comes from matter, who's to say it isn't baked in somehow, everywhere? Maybe you're not walking through a cold, dead universe. Maybe you're walking through awareness. Level 15. Extended mind theory. Where's your mind, your brain? Sure. But what about your phone, your notebook, that app that reminds you what time to eat or where you parked? We lean on tools for memory, decisions, navigation, everything. So maybe your mind isn't just in your head. Maybe it extends into the world around you. You're not just thinking alone. You're thinking with the world. Level 16. Functionalism. What makes something a mind? It's not what it's made of. It's what it does. If it thinks, remembers, feels, it's a mind. Doesn't matter if it's neurons or microchips or magic hamsters. Think of it like software. It's not the machine, it's the program. So if a machine ever thinks, dreams, feels, even a little, it might not just be a machine anymore. Level 17. Behaviorism. What if your thoughts don't matter at all? What if only your actions count? You smile, that's happiness. You flinch, that's fear. There's no hidden you behind it. Just patterns, inputs and outputs. Clean, simple, maybe too simple. Are you just a collection of habits and reactions? Or is there someone behind the scenes? Level 18. Utilitarianism. Want to know the right thing to do? Do the math. The best action is the one that creates the most happiness for the most people. Push one person to save 5, lie to stop a war. Sometimes doing what's right means making tough, even brutal choices. It's not about playing by the rules. It's about maximizing good, even if it hurts. Level 19 Deontology, Kant. Kant had no time for results. For him, morality was about doing what's right, no matter the outcome. Never lie, never use someone, always act from duty. He believed in a built-in moral compass, a kind of universal law inside each of us. Right is right, even if it costs you everything. That's deontology. Principles over consequences. Level 20 Virtue Ethics, Aristotle. Forget rules, forget math. Aristotle said, want to live a good life? Be a good person. That means practicing virtue, like courage, honesty, kindness, until it becomes second nature. It's not about passing some test. It's about becoming someone you'd be proud of. Life's not a checklist, it's a performance. So show up and play your part well. If this blew your mind, smash that like button real quick.